A young man sent me a question a few times about a issue that he had. And of course, many young people send me messages, questions, and so on. But the most common questions that I get from young people, and old people actually, is the whole issue of arayot, what to do with the issue of kedusha, of Brit, girls. Sometimes the girls ask me about boys, and so on and so forth, because they're not married, sometimes because they are married. The point is that people are struggling with this epidemic, but it's not corona. The issue is the whole issue of how to handle yourself, your kedusha. Now, when it comes to sexuality, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very, very clear about what's allowed and what's not allowed. If she is your wife, if he is your husband, you are allowed to be with each other during the time that the woman is pure, meaning that she has counted her clean days, she went to the mikveh, and then she's pure, and you're allowed to be with her. The Rambam writes clearly about how many times each person should be with their wife. If somebody is a regular average Joe, they can be with their wife as often as they want during that time that she's pure. But if someone is a Talmid Chacham, then they could limit it to once or twice a week, because they need to retain their energy. Plus, it's not the behavior of a Chacham to act like a rooster. Now, but that's assuming she's your wife, and that's permissible. On the other hand, what if she's not your wife? What if she's not your wife? Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, if you touch her, if you are intimate with her, if you're intimate with him, you're both going to get a punishment that you're going to wish for the Holocaust instead of this punishment. Such extremes. Such extremes. On one hand, I'm allowed to be with my wife, Ishtabach Shemo La'ad. If I'm an average guy, okay, every day, as long as she's pure. Let's say half the month. Okay? Okay, fine. I understand that. I can pray, there's benefits to not being with your wife every day for different medical reasons, psychological reasons, for marriage reasons, and so on. No problem. But how come there's such an extreme? What if she's not my wife? She's not my wife. How come I can't have a girlfriend? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says your girlfriend, your boyfriend, is going to get you to a place worse than Gehenom. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the kedusha of a person is what makes him a Jew. That is what distinguishes us from all of the other nations. Why? Because all of the other nations are allowed to be with each other as much and as often as they want, even during the period. But Am Yisrael, Am HaKadosh, we're different. Why? Because we are in essence, a different species, because we have a different role in the world. Now, a person that does not have the right ideology will have a very difficult time swallowing what I just said. In fact, they will reject it viciously. Because, what do you mean? On one hand, I have Gan Eden half the month. On the other hand, you tell me Kafakela is where I'm going. On the other hand, I'm going to Holocaust. What's the matter with you? Why can't I have like a middle ground, like once in a while? HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have once in a while. And that's why he says in Parashat Shmini, Vayomer Moshe, Ze hadavar asher tziva Adonai, ta'asu v'yireh alechem kevod Adonai. Moshe says to the nation, this is the thing that Hashem has commanded you to do. Then the glory of Hashem will appear to you. This and not that. This Torah and not their Torah. This Kedusha and not their Tum'ah. This Emet and not their Shekel. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.